Hey, what's going on, everybody? This comes down reviews, and what we've got is MegaSteel, their first release, their MS-03 Buster. So, of course, it's their homage to the Transformers G1 character, Blaster. And I normally don't take a look at the boxes lately, but this one's really nice. That's not just some kind of iridescent like paint or anything like that. This box is actually finished like this, and the Buster is actually like engraved or whatever into it. It's like those cologne boxes and stuff like that. You buy really fancy stuff, as well as the MegaSteel writing up there, and you can see it's got that metallic color and this and that. And even when you open it up, it's got the ribbon piece there to keep it from closing. It's just, the presentation here is outstanding. But you can see that it has the glass cover, or plastic cover. And in the box here, you have Blaster. You have his blaster, as well as the Marvel comic accurate head. So, really nice accessories, stuff like that. Packed in really well too. Like, it clips in perfectly. There's no moving that guy unless you force it out. Now, mine actually came with the Marvel head installed. So let's go ahead and get this guy out of the box. And no, this isn't my first time playing with it or anything like that, so just wanted to show you guys the packaging so you can see. And I'll tell you what, get this behind him. Another nice touch. The instructions actually come in this nice sleeve. Oh, I didn't even see that before. Comes with, it's like a clear, not necessarily holographic, but yeah, like an imprint style card. That's really neat. So, didn't even notice that the first time. Go ahead and get that in the box. Get this out of the way. Alright, so before we get started with the finer details here, let's go ahead and get them measured. Head to toe, he's definitely that Voyager, Classics Voyager size. Around, I'd say, 6 3/4 inches tall. Everybody's so like spread out with what they collect and this and that, even in terms of classics, because there's not just one Classics Optimus Prime, there's Toy World Orion and this and that. So, just for a quick comparison, I think City Commander maybe a little bit dated, but he's still a character that people actually own. So there he is in comparison to City Commander. You can see how he scales. Very, very nice classic scale. Now, here's the G1 head. MegaSteel talking to me. They said that the final version is actually going to come with some changes to this head. My guess would be not having the detailing on the helmet here, more of just a flat style dome, as well as maybe some different paint applications around the face and this and that. Mine actually came with only around the mouth painted, almost similar to the Marvel mask type head. So they had the same-ish paint job, even though they're different sculpts on the face. So it came looking, a bit messy, so I went ahead and just filled out the silver on the rest of the face, as well as, that dome part, and added some yellow detailing to the sides of his helmet there. So I think it came out pretty decent. I also went over this head. You can't see it because there's no light behind it, but it has yellow light piping, which is Marvel accurate. This one also came with yellow light piping. I painted over that with a translucent blue. So I don't know how the final one's going to come out, but I like the paint job that I did on mine, so I can imagine whatever they do will look even better. But there's that. And again, just a shot with the Marvel Accurate head. And I'll say, like, the Marvel Accurate head, I actually like it quite a bit. I might end up going with that. In the pictures they released, it looked pretty sloppy, and I wasn't sure about it. But the detailing and stuff like that, it's like perfect. It's a very nice classics, like Neo classics kind of thing. Neo G1 or whatever. Alright. So, getting those out of the way, he does come with his traditional blaster. Now, on his arms here, these are a little bit different. These packs are actually used for the transformation. So, as I drop him on the floor, what I do, for him to be able to hold his gun, because there's no room with those on his arm, I just put them each on the sides of his gun. Get the other one here real quick. It doesn't say anything official or not, but I would guess that's why it came with the exact same. And these are 5mm pegs. That it would come with the same peg size and everything like that as on the gun. But there you go. Now, taking a look at his posability. Lots of room in the ball joint on the head here. Now, there were some questions because for some of the pictures I took those and unhinged them. They actually, when you got these in, they're really tight. So, you see they don't, zoom out here, they don't unhinge on their own or anything like that. You have to manually untab them. Now, in terms of the shoulders, these are die cast, but the color match is actually very, very well done in my opinion. I don't know. So I know there was one poster in particular on TFW 2005 that saw some differences and stuff like that, which is his right, but I'm really not seeing it. I think this is one of the best color matching jobs I've seen when it comes to paint versus plastic color. It's alright. Still looking. Really tight bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, and it actually has nothing to do with the transformation or anything like that, just because. So, very nice there. Wrist swivel, no opposable fingers or anything like that. Full waist swivel. Now, there were some changes in the legs from the prototype pictures from what to what we have now, in particular in the thigh area. So what they added, they took the thigh swivel and took it from right there down to here, as well as adding a ratchet right here. You can see the light gray part, okay? As I just knock everything down. So what that does, the skirt actually doesn't move. So the way the legs were, you could only put them until they started to touch the skirt. Now it gives him a little bit more leeway to kick his leg forward, even though it's kind of cheating, as well as giving him an outward. So if you want to give him more of a crouching forward pose, and that's showing off the ankle tilt right there. It's great. Jeez, I'm just knocking this thing down all over the place. Alright. So there's that. Well, we took a pretty good look at the leg. The knee bend is definitely decent. No double joints or anything crazy, but you can at least get 90 degrees out of it. Okay. And other than that, we talked about the thigh swivel. The ankle tilt goes both ways for sure. So, really nice. Good posability and everything like that. This is a fun toy, and it's nice to not only have a blaster, but have one that I can get into some cool poses and this and that. Aesthetically, it just rocks too. I actually passed on the Unique Toys version for this. Now, I know there are some problems with the color of red that they chose. It's a bit orange, and you know, that's admittedly so, but it looks decent in person for sure. I do wish that the whole thigh was at least one color. I think it would just look a lot more fluid through that area. The elbows I don't really mind so much because they're elbows, you know, a lot of the time the arm is bent with shadows and stuff like that. Pretty covered up. Even with this one over here, the shadow of the gun is doing some covering. You know, it's just one of those things that doesn't stand out. Now some people were talking about the blaster, keeping it black versus the tones of gray. I actually like it matching the legs, but I understand black is more G1 accurate. I can see why they have that complaint. Alright, with that, let's go ahead and get it transformed into alt mode. And with these, I'm not sure if those are exactly centered or not. Those tabs, they're used for the transformation. I believe that's why they're included in general, not just for the gun or anything like that. So we might have to switch them around. But alright. This is literally my second time transforming it, but the first time was so simple that I felt comfortable with it. But just kind of getting them into a more straight up stance, because that's what you need this. Alright, on the back here, just flips out. Okay. Flip it back up. His arms here, that's where you untab them. Untab. And just keep the fist like normal. So you don't do anything special with those. Now, you can do this before you hinge them back, but you see that tab there? That flips up. Put the fist in, flip it back down. Fist in, flip it back down. Just keep it over here. And the legs, just make them do the splits. And the feet, you bend them out like so. Now these, not necessarily hard, but gotta be careful. So they pull up, the handles, okay? Not anything major, but they pull up. It's noticeable. And then you gotta take this part and flip them back around. So I'm gonna brace here, and I'm grabbing by this part. Quite a bit easier the second time doing it. Really easy, but the first time it was really tight. So I could tell and didn't want to break anything, but make sure first time you do it at least, grab it at a good spot. Alright, so that ankle tilt, let's take those, flip the feet here. Flip the feet here. Okay, and there are little tabs right there too, so in case you can't see them on the video. Okay. And all of this is going to line up, that's why I'm kind of being nonchalant, I'd say, about doing it. But flip those down, two handles, okay, and then take these, flip them up, and you'll know you're right because you see the second speaker. You can tell you're almost done. So now with these, you have to push them in. Kind of scary, but there you go. See that? There you go. And on this part, make sure to flip these out. Okay. And you can do that at any time, but make sure to do that. Alright, so these are coming up, and there are tabs over here on the side. If you can see that, zoom in. That tab right there. As well as now, these pieces right here. Okay? And those tab into those flaps that we just flipped out on the feet. And just as I predicted, well, no, I actually got them on the right side. Ha. There's one, Make sure it's straight up. That's 2. Now where it really pegs into place well is getting these 2 handles to tab into each other. Okay. And there we go. Now, for the last part, make sure that that's tabbed in well. Tabbed in well. Make sure it's on camera. Focus. All this in the back, at the bottom there, flips out. In case you didn't see, flip that out. And now we bring it around to the front. Okay. These parts right here, be careful because they're pretty tight. Flip them down and bring them around. Okay. So now you've got that. And this part just slides up. Make sure everything's locked and tight, and boom. Bring the camera down some. Okay. There we have Blaster's alt mode. And you can see this is a bit forward, and you can adjust that, you know. It's on you. But all the little things, like that tab I was speaking about, there we go. Everything lines up really tight. Sorry for not having it in the center there. But there's his alt mode. I mean, it's pretty cool. Good detail to it and everything like that. And yeah, I mean, I can't really complain. These 2 flaps flip down. So they're double hinged. So just be aware of that. Flip it down at the first hinge first and go from there. Yeah. There you have it. This has been MegaSteel's MS-03 Blaster. So I talked to them, and apparently what their plan is to release Megatron next, which is MS-01, and then MS-02 is Soundwave. So they're definitely going out of order compared to the number markings and stuff like that, but there you have it. And in case you were wondering about his weapon storage, pulls apart, flip that down. Part of it tabs into the butt. The other part right there. Well, there you go. There's his weapon storage as well. It's a tight tab. So in my opinion, it's definitely a well done toy. You know, the colors, you're either going to like them or you're not. It's definitely not that deep red that most people would expect from Blaster, but overall the aesthetic's good. I definitely like the color separation. The design itself, aesthetically, it's great. I love that anime style look. It goes well with my, fans project and make toy stuff. And yeah, definitely a solid toy, good plastic quality, and I'd recommend it. Besides aesthetic, which is just hit or miss, you either like it or you don't, it's definitely a solid toy. Very posable, and definitely worth the money in my opinion. This has been another Kuma Style review. I'll see you guys next time.